Hi everyone, my name is Edward Grigorian. I am a board member of Kectil Program, and today we are hosting two amazing people, two winners of our Kectil Community Project. Today we are gonna have an interesting discussion, discuss how the Kectil Community Project went, discuss also the challenging parts of it, and also profiles of our winners of the project. Our discussion will last around 1 hour, and you can hear the amazing stories from our KCP fellows. So first of all, we have Beverly and Salimat here, and I will just go ahead and start with the first question. To start us off, could you introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about your background and journey, and then briefly describe your project, how it went, and what you set out to achieve. Please describe it as clearly as possible for our audience to imagine how your project went, and the floor is yours. I can't hear you. You are muted, actually. You are not.
Yeah. Good everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Beverly Chikoti, and alongside my partner Salimat Bello, we implemented a project in Nairobi at Hope Orphanage. Our background is mainly rooted in leadership, and we are very passionate about community and youth development. And my partner Salimat will take you on how our project went and what we did and our goals as well.
Thank you so much, Beverly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Salimat Bello. I'm a psychology major, a third-year student, and also a MasterCard Foundation scholar, alongside my colleague, Beverly. We are glad to be here today. So basically, like she said, we implemented a project which centered on, soft skills. Yeah. And we named it Supplementary School because we wanted it to be an after-school project. We wanted to teach the kids like beyond what they are being taught in the classrooms. We wanted them to see world beyond the four walls of their classrooms, and that was why we came up with the project. So we didn't just do the project because we felt that was what they needed at that point. We actually went to the home and we consulted the program director, the mother they have in the house, and we asked her what does she think we can do for them in the home. Because when we are implementing projects, very important to ask what people want rather than you impose what you feel like they need. Because what we think they need might not be what they need at that moment, even though it might be beneficial to them. But we also need to put into consideration that like what they need is also very important when implementing projects. So Supplementary School is actually a project that's so dear to our heart because we didn't only like impact the student, the children in the home, we also learned from them. So it was like an exchange initiative. So initially we wanted to, impart 30 kids, but when we got to the home, we discovered there are more than that, and we never wanted to leave any child behind. So we ended up imparting around 40 plus. And in that 40 plus, we discovered there are some of them who are in high school, and we have the little babies. Yeah. So we taught them about peace building, conflict resolution, self-esteem, and so on, because we feel like these are children who are, they're subjected to be in one place, just move from school and they come back to the home. They don't really have that freedom and access to like every other children because everything they do, it's like their freedom is being limited. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do it in a home, like in an orphanage home, rather than going to school. So when we look at peace building, and children who are internally displaced, or children or orphans, or children who are suffering from, deadly diseases due to care, like neglect from their parents. They actually need it because these are children that have been exposed to trauma, and they might not be able to handle it from on their own, or they might not get the right resources or the right people to manage it with them. We were like, okay, fine. We think this is the best thing that we can do, coming from the acceptance from the program director that, oh, because she agreed that, okay, you guys can go on because this is actually a good initiative and it's going to help the children. And when we started, we had very good feedbacks from them. They were so happy about it because our very first topic with them was self-esteem. We saw the spark in them, and that actually motivated us to continue the project with them. And they were so receptive in the home. The children, they were so happy to receive us every time we go. They always want us to come. It got to a point we actually have their school calendar, the activity. They will always tell us, oh, we are going to be on break so day month, or we'll be in school and all that. So it was actually fun doing that project and learning from them as well, as much as we are giving back to the society. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, so much emotions, guys. I really got motivated from just the first question, and I want to hear more. And I would go directly to the second question to discover more about the deepest details of your project. So the second question is, what was the turning point or personal experience that inspired you to focus specifically on orphans and internally displaced children, and why you feel that soft skills like communication and peace building were the most urgent needed?
I'm gonna answer that one. Like I said before, I told you we are people that are deeply rooted in giving back to the community. So for us, this project was an opportunity to do that. But mainly, I think the turning point for us was realizing that while many initiatives supporting orphans and children who live at orphanages, they focus on material needs. There's often less attention given to their emotional and social development. So my colleague Salma suggested that actually, and I found the idea very intriguing, and I went on along with her. When we reflected on the realities these children face, displacement, loss, instability, we understood that these experiences can deeply affect how they communicate, trust each other, and also handle conflict, also express themselves well. So what stood out to us was that some children they struggle to express themselves openly or resolve disagreements peacefully, not because they don't want to, but because they've not been given the tools or a safe space to learn how to. And that realization is what made it clear to us that soft skills like communication and peace building were not just complementary, they were urgent, they were needed. These children, they needed it. So these are life skills that shape how children relate to others, build friendships, and navigate challenges both now and in the future and in their lives as well. So that's how we actually came to make the decision to implement this project. Yes, that's all I have to say on that question.
Wow, thank you very much. So it has the backstory as well, which gives much more power to the project that you did, and it will inspire much more people to take on the step and start the project and the idea from a very small conversation or word or a sentence that someone said. That's really inspiring. So regarding that part, I will continue with the logical continuation of our chain, and that is like during your sessions at the Great Hope Orphanage, was there a particular moment or interaction with a child that stayed with you and made you realize the real impact of your project?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to add to what Beverly said. For us, the project is so dear to our heart, and we decided to go into soft skills because Beverly is actually a software engineering student. And for me, I'm a psychology major. And there was this particular semester we did psychology of adolescence, and I got to learn so much things about adolescence. So for us, it was like these children are in that stage of their life that they really need a lot of encouragement. They've seen a whole lot. Life has shown them different side, and the only thing they need at this point of their life is that courage and kindness and the support, the love here to know to see themselves like they belong to the world. So just because they are not just victim of their circumstances because those things happen, they are children. They were not involved. They didn't write their death, but along the line, things happens to anyone. We are all humans, and or the other, we've had our own personal battles. So we were like, these children will go through a whole lot, and they may not have anyone to come to the home to, talk to them about all these things, like how to come out of that trauma, the steps to take, how to, overcome bullying, because these are children that some of them get self sponsors. Some of them are being sponsored by government. No matter how they go in the society, there will always be one thing that tells them that, oh, this is your story. So we wanted to show them that you are beyond that. Like, see yourself beyond your background. Background be the reason why you want to always remain around. Like, they should always envision themselves to be in better places. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to settle with that, because we know these are things that they might not get in the classrooms, in the orphanage homes, in the community as.
Okay, that's quite detailed, guys. Thank you very much. And you are mutually like helping each other to describe the project in more details. And it really seems so nice. And it gives like a feeling that the project was not just a project, but was a cooperation between two people who really want to bring a change and help each other in that to achieve that goal. And seeing this, I want to ask you the next question regarding the challenges. You worked in a context with language and other resource barriers. Can you walk us through a challenge that initially felt like a setback and how you creatively turned it into opportunity?
Okay. One of the biggest challenges that we faced as a team was the language barrier. As you know, my friend is from Nigeria, I'm from Zimbabwe, and we were in a Kenyan environment. So when we got to the orphanage, we realized that there were children of different age groups. Some were in high school, some were in primary school, but there were others that were very little. So we realized that most of the children, they were not able to participate because they could not hear us properly and they could not even decipher what we were telling them. So at first, that was really, really hard. I won't lie. But with time, as we kept on going there, we made it our mission actually to simplify our language, to use simple English. We also used interactive methods and visual methods such as games, role play, demonstrations. But most importantly, we had help from the other children there, the older children that were in the orphanages, because they helped us to translate most of the things that we were saying, as well as the staff that was there. They also used to help us to translate some of the things. So yeah, that was one of the most setbacks that we had. And what started as a challenge actually became an opportunity for teamwork because we had to ask people for help and as well as the children to chip in to help us to just understand each other better and to explain our points more clearly. So at the end of the day, it was just a win-win situation for the children and for us as we also got to learn a little bit of Swahili from the older children. Yeah.
I didn't know that you engaged other like children in the like translation and like the work. I think it's amazing chance because they not only help you but they develop certain skills translation, that's not something very easy. And I'm super surprised you managed to keep attention of children when they were listening to you but not understanding, and they had to wait for translation. The interactive means probably help you a lot here. I'm surprised, and I'm continuing like to discover the details of your project that are like astonishing for me. And regarding the project details, I have another question for you, and it goes like many projects focus on material support actually, but yours combines like emotional and social development. How did you design this balance? And what changes did you observe in the children's beyond what you expect?
Oh, okay, I'm gonna take that question. So speaking from experience, because I also have my own traumatic years growing up. I lost my father when I was 8 years old, and I was thrown into the society. I was basically helped by the society, society raised me, and I know how dramatic that can be. I know, you know, I know the process when you see people doing something in the society with the help of their parent, and you are limited because you don't have the resources in place, you don't have the right people to guide you, or they don't have the right resources to like tell you that this is what you're supposed to do, or this is what you're supposed to do. So I know it makes people feel bad, particularly children. Just like I said earlier, or children does not they don't choose their destiny. So that was why we looked at it from that perspective of we don't want to do the normal project, okay, just going to them to teach them about this or teach them about that. And that was why we decided to focus on the emotional part of it so we could actually help them build them. And we are also young, we are learning, we are growing. So we felt like when we go there, speaking from our experiences, they can see real life stories because it got to a point we had to share our true life stories to them so they can see that, okay, you can be whatever you set your mind to become. Because today I'm a MasterCard scholar and I don't think I would have gotten here if I didn't work hard, if I didn't work on my traumas, if I didn't learn about these things, or if I didn't get people to teach me because at some point I was also being sponsored by an NGO, and we usually have people coming to speak to us about career paths, life goal, communication, like soft skills in general, and that really helped me and shaped me to who I am today and kind of the woman I'm becoming. And we saw that as an avenue to also, go back to the community and change the narrative, impact the children, and make them feel that their voice matters in circumstances. So that was the reason why we had a bit of shift from our project, the emotional aspect. And like I said earlier on, the supplementary school is actually a project that I worked on back in Nigeria before I came to Kenya. And that one was basically about academics. It was like an after school service that we render, but we teach them, we teach the low learners. So they come to that center, teach them about math, we teach them math, English, and all that. But this particular one is something that it's different, it's a different setting. And we just wanted them to feel at home. We just wanted them, like, we just want to hear from them how they communicate with their peers, how they fit in settings, even when they don't feel comfortable. Because we discovered that some of them were aggressive at some point. When the conversation was going on and on, they were unleashing those anger, and which is valid because that is one of the things we aimed for, to make them express themselves better so that they can unleash some things that it's not right. And another thing is that we discovered that these children actually face bullying, which is bad. But then, how do they fight for themselves? So we felt like it's also one of the reasons why this project was so dear to our heart. The turning point, or that point where we felt like there was, a shift, was when they wanted us to always come back. They would always tell us, oh, this is our calendar, we'll be vacating in October, we'll be resuming so. Come back, we want to have conversation with you, because actually after our session, because Beverly speaks a bit of Kiswahili, so they usually have that moment, we gist, they ask us about our country, we tell them, oh, this is what we do, because we don't just want to make life difficult for them. We want them to feel at home, and we want them to also learn from our own mistakes, because I believe we are humans and we've made mistakes. And these are mistakes that we don't want the one coming behind us to also repeat. So, like, that is the essence of it all.
Wow, these were too many details, and I'm so happy that I'm hearing them. It's very inspiring in a part that you felt really what the children feel and all the emotions that have been shared. Um, I'm like, I have a desire to come and see how you do that to bring the experience, because usually people say that we should learn from developed countries and people who are specializing in a field, but I have a deep belief that there are much more things that we can learn from developing countries and people who work in communities and bring change. I think this is one of the cases that we can observe and try to internationalize the experience. Um, Keeping this in mind, I want to have a forward-looking view and ask you, like looking ahead, if you had unlimited support and resources, how would you scale and transform this initiative to create long-term sustainable impact for vulnerable children across Nairobi or even beyond?
I'm gonna take that one. Well, if we had unlimited support and resources, we would focus on transforming this initiative into a structured long-term program that can be implemented across multiple orphanages and communities in Nairobi. Our first step would be creating a flexible curriculum that would be focusing maybe on communication, emotional intelligence, and peace building skills that could be adapted to different age groups and contexts. We would also invest maybe in training facilitators, because we cannot do this all on our own. We need help from other people. So we could either train teachers, caregivers, or some volunteers that would just like to be involved, or that are passionate about community give back. Um, if we do that, maybe they could also help us to reach out to more children in Nairobi and also to more centers. In addition, we could also establish ongoing mentorship programs where children can continue to receive guidance beyond one-time sessions, ensuring their continuous growth and support over time. But ultimately, our goal would be sustainability, how to make this last for a longer time, because for it will be very important for these children to keep on learning more and more about these things. And if we actually get to impact their lives, that means they would also be inspired to continue our work from what they would have learned and actually apply it to other things as well in their lives, and also teach other children as well. So we would love for this project to be sustainable and empower communities as well. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Okay, that seems like a powerful vision. And I hope, as you already got the funding MasterCard thing, and both of you actually, and I am really happy. I have heard about the scholarship MasterCard, and it's not easy to get. So you did that, and I'm sure you will be able to continue the project. I hope I will see it once again later on in the future in a higher scale on international level, hopefully, and I will recognize your faces and contact you saying that we had an interview together and you started the project in this year and so on. That would be amazing experience, actually. Regarding the next question, I want to concentrate on the experience you gained in the Kectil program. Um, So how did your experience in Kectil program influence the design and implementation of the project? And in what ways did it shape your leadership approach?
All right, I'll take that. Okay. Okay, to be honest, I've done so many leadership classes, sessions, but Kectil is actually exceptional because the board or the team in charge do not leave you to do it. Like there's always timely communication, or this is what you're supposed to do. So we had that part. And that really actually taught me a lot of things because we are not just implementing. Actually, the project was actually optional. It was not mandatory because I think it started last year. And we were fortunate. We were just like, okay, Beverly, let's do this thing. And we did it. So for me, it taught me teamwork. It taught me patience. And lastly, it taught me servant leadership, like going to the grassroots to connect with the people. Yeah, because these are people that have lost hope or felt like no one is going to remember them. Because where this orphanage home is, it's actually far. Like it is in the nook of Nairobi. It's so far to get. We used Google Map. It got to a point we were lost, but we're like, oh, we would actually look for this. So, like for me, the teamwork aspect was working with Beverly, sharing my vision that oh, this is what I want us to work on. She also shared that, and we came to a resolution of this is what we should stick to and work on. And on the part of patients, it was not really easy coming from being in Nigeria, not understanding Kiswahili and going to meet children. We have kids, some of them might, sometimes they sleep, sometimes they make noise, sometimes, you just have to be emotionally intelligent to carry everyone along so that no one feels left out or left behind. So that really taught me patience, and it's like it was not really easy coming along with the curriculum because we had to write, we had to plan, we had to try different ways, different means. And minding the fact that we are students, we don't really have much funds, and we are in a foreign land because this is not our home country. So it was not really easy getting funds to execute the project. We had to like start small. So that's also part of it. And the last one, which is servant leadership, it's like Kectil taught me that when you want to lead, you need to serve. So leadership is about serving and not about leading. And another point is do not do everything yourself. Like if you have people you can delegate tasks to, do that. And that's actually helped Beverly and I to reduce the workload. So it was not really overwhelming for both of us because, oh, if you have something to do, oh, Beverly, are you going to teach and I work on the PowerPoint? Or am I going to work on the PowerPoint and teach? And even our report and every other thing, that was how we came up with it. So it was like delegation actually made the work easier for us. It actually made us not to really feel the workload of it all. So yeah, like I said, like Kectil really helped me in a long way. I'm still learning, I'm still reflecting on those things that I do. Most times because I know we usually have a monthly tasks that we do on the platform on the website. Sometimes I usually go there to learn, to relearn, to read those things that I've read during my year. So to like maybe for instance, because now I'm actually trying to have my own business. And I remember we did this entrepreneurship course. We had a module on that. So I went back to read it to retrace if it's something that I really want to do that I've written there, or I want to do something else. And another thing that I like is that the program just didn't end. Like it's a continuous thing because I know we have an alumni community. Like you can always reach back to the program management if you need anything. So it's not all these kind of programs that when you are done and they're done with you. It's just like this interview we are having. Like this is an example of it that they are always there. So whenever you need anything, you can always reach out to the organization, and the organization can also reach out. So I learned those three things for me, those three things too. And it's really helping me. Yeah, I'm still going back to portal to read, to learn. Yeah.
Wow. This was a full like promotion of the program as well. Um, I was a program fellow before becoming the Kectil board member, and I had the same feelings. I was also going to the platform to get motivated, first of all, and to learn from people who were doing a great job in their own communities and sharing also their experience there. And I fully understand you when you mention the platform, the program, and the continuity of that. And coming back to the continuity of the program, I'm wondering how the Kectil Community Projects team helped you throughout this project, throughout this journey. And I know that you got a prize for the project, and you are one of our winners. And I want to hear if you have already spent the prize and how you are going to use it, and will it somehow contribute to the continuity of the project?
Uh, I hope you can hear me clearly again, because unfortunately my network has started lagging. Yes. So on the first part, how the community project team played a part on our project, the project that we implemented. They helped us, they supported us through guidance and structure and encouragement. Because if I remember clearly, there were times that they used to send so many emails regarding this project. They kept us on our toes because we had to think of something that we needed to do for this project. So their support actually helped us to stay focused on our goals and also think more critically about how to design and implement our projects. It also gave us confidence in turning our ideas into action, and it helped us to approach our projects with a more clear intention on what we are going to do and how we are going to implement it. And about the prize, as you know, not as you know, I'm telling you, I'm actually home right now in Zimbabwe, and Salimat is in Kenya because I'm doing my internship for the MasterCard program. So we decided that we would continue this project when we get back together in Kenya. But I'll just tell you what we are planning to do with the prize that we received last time when we got the prize. Uh, we are going to use it to mainly uh, increase the project's reach and impact, strengthen it as well as to expand the project's reach, and also mainly for transport costs and also buying some things the materials that we can use to make sure that these children understand what we'll be teaching them better. And the last part about continuity, sustainability, that's our main goal. We will teach these children so that in a way that what we teach them doesn't only remain with them, they can actually teach other children and other people as well. And even the volunteers part that I told you about, we could also find other people that could be willing to do this with us. And we teach them what we do and how we've been doing it so far. And we will also teach them a lot about it as well so that they can teach other people and help us to navigate this all better. Yeah, that's mostly it.
Amazing. I'm super happy that Kectil Community Projects team was able to promote all the time and like even disturb you with the emails and push you forward. And I'm really happy it worked because that's what we plan to do. As well as I'm happy to hear about continuity of the project. And I'm getting each time surprised about your achievements, the internship for MasterCard. I wish you all the good luck with that. I know how important it is in your career as well. And I believe you will go forward with that. Good luck to both of you guys. regarding that part and your careers. And the question that I want to ask you, probably the last one, and that would be an advice. What advice would you give to young leaders who are planning to apply for and implement Kectil Community Projects in 2026? They are probably listening to you right now, and imagine you are talking directly to them. Please motivate them and give them the advice that you would like to hear when you were planning to apply for the project.
Salimat, are you going to start or I start?
Either ways. Okay, I can start. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
When we are talking about community projects, like I said during my introduction, get to the grassroots. Know what these people want. Don't impose what you think is right. So, for instance, if you go to a community that they don't have borehole, and you think education is the most important thing for them at that point, they might not welcome you, because at that moment when you are in their community, the innovation you are bringing is not what they need. These people need water to support education. And I'm not saying that education is not important, but that's not the pressing issue to them, because if you're proposing education to someone who walks miles away to get water, it's exhausting. So do something that the community wants. Be in dialogue with the community. Like the community leaders, they have representatives, get closer to them, know what they want, and reflect on it if that's what exactly for them. If that is what you want to do or it matches your plan, you can go ahead with it. Secondly, project is not about output, it's about input. It's not about impacting millions. It's not about having millions of people to impact. It's about how many people out of these millions being impacted. So basically, work more on the input. For us, we wanted 30, which is manageable, but we ended up doing 40 plus. It was still within our scope, and we did it excellently well. We did it within our budget, we did it within our means. So we didn't overwork ourselves. We did it with the little resources that we have. So like the input is very, very important when we are, planning a community project. Another thing I would like to add up is it's actually good to have a good communication skill, because you get to some places you have to bargain, even though you're not selling anything to them, but you have to bargain. You have to be patient. You have to be a good team leader. Yeah, you have to be a good team leader. It's not just about yourself. It's not just about what you know. Listen to people, hear from them. Seek advice from people as well. Like, do you think this is going to work this way? Do you think if I do it this way, it's going to come out this way? Like, ask people questions. Yeah, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you think there's anything you don't understand and you can't sort it out from your end, you can always reach out to the Kectil committee. They are always available. That's the one thing I see. They are always available to address any of them. Yeah. So Beverly, you can pick. Then maybe I add very back.
I'm going to just add onto what Salma has said, because the things that I'm going to say, they're basically more or less the same as what she has already said. So as for me, I would advise these future applicants to focus on projects that are meaningful to them and projects that actually cater for real community needs. Like my colleague said, you cannot just go into a community and you just impose an idea on them. You have to learn what problems they are facing, what challenges they are facing, so that you can be able to find a solution on how to solve those problems that they'll be facing during that particular time. And also, I would advise them to be adaptable. Whenever you go to a new environment, you always have to learn how to adapt. You cannot just go there and you think your ideas are the only ones that work. It's never like that. You have to learn how to learn from other people, how to be open-minded. Yeah, so in general, just be adaptable. And most importantly, stay committed. Stay committed. Because the real value in this project is not completing them, but the change that they make, the impact that you make. How have you changed the lives of these people? That's what matters. Change is what matters after you have implemented that project. So I'll just advise them to just stay committed to their values and also the community's needs and focus on what matter. Yeah.
I hope our leaders managed to write down everything you have said. Both of you are just amazing guys. Beverly and Salimat, you are an inspiration for people who are gonna apply this year. And I hope they will watch the video and get motivated from you. And later on, when they implement the project and become the next winners, they will name you and say that they got motivated from this video, from your words and from your project. And I want to thank you both for both the details and the inspiration you gave, but also for the advice for those who are going to apply. Thank you so much, guys.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome.